On your feet! Get them going!
Oh, I forgot to have my coffee in my mouth. Oh, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Cross Examinations Live. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller, not a pastor, priest, rabbi, yabba-dabba-dabba-doo, and all that stuff. Here with you. Why? Because you want me to be here. Hey, King Bob's here, Lady Celtic Moon's here, Tina, Justin, the Unicorn. What's up, Justin? Unicornus. Sorry.
Hello, really?
Sorry. Little unicorn debate going on in the chat. I love it. Hello, Amy Lester. About time, Mike. It is about that time, isn't it? You know, if you're... Oh, you can't be a member of this channel. I totally forgot. Larry Romano says, good afternoon. Evolution is still fake and gay. This is accurate and correct. Thank you, Larry, for pointing that out. Look, if you're a Christian and you believe in evolution, you can still be saved. You just cannot be right. It's fine, though. It's not a salvific issue, but it is a practical, rational reality. Welcome, Joe K. Our what do you call that? Our dissident Orthodox. We've got our Orthodox. We've got our Catholics. We've got our non-denoms. We've got whatever King Bob is. I think we got everybody in here except for our agnostics and atheists have not shown up yet. Let's get this party started. I was listening to the book of Daniel this morning. So it takes me a while to get back to sleep when I get woken up because my son is being taken to school. So I like to put the Bible on. Always. Not always. I try to always remember. But I put the Bible on and I just listen to it for a while. And the book of Daniel, I thought we've been talking about the book of Daniel. Hey, Without Lies is here. What's up? Bible time. So it always cracks me up because you guys know I try to maintain a relatively carnivore diet. And it's done really well for me. It's done wonders for me physically, which is funny because my father-in-law keeps complaining about me being on a carnivore diet. And I was like, you should watch Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg has all this information on what you should be eating. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I've been watching Dr. Berg for 2 years. Terry, just stop. I know what I'm doing. I was listening to Christians debate with Muslims earlier. Ooh, was it the Muslim Dilemma with David Wood? Or was it Sam Shimon? Or God Logic? Which one was it? Who was it? Anyways. People say, well, what about remember when, was it Nebuchadnezzar? It's Nebuchadnezzar, right? Brought Daniel and Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, who my former pastor used to call a bad Negro. Miles McPherson, he's black, so he can make that joke on stage. What about when they wouldn't eat the king's food, which I'm sure was full of pork and lobster and delicious unclean foods, right? Well, what about them? All they had, they asked, I beseech thee, 10 days, let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Now, the pulse is only used 3 times in the Old Testament. In this, I mean, it means vegetables, right? However, outside of this context, which this context is the 2 times, it's Daniel 1:12 and then 1:16. The other context is in 2 Samuel 17:28, where they say they brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse. What are they saying in that one? they're saying stuff that can be dried out, parched, right? Water removed. So like beans and lentils and flour and barley, stuff where you can take the water out of it and store it for a long time. I don't know if this one has anything to do with the other in terms of descriptions, but you can't do that with cabbage. You can't do it with broccoli. What kind of vegetables can you dry out? Carrots. Wait, is a carrot? Yeah, carrot's a vegetable. So regardless, one thing that has nothing to do with the other, it's not terribly important. But they were vegetarians, which means they were eating just vegetables, right? Just vegetables. They became vegetarians for those 10 days at least. And then, later on, what happened to them in those 10 days? What does the Bible literally say? You can dry anything. Yeah, but do you want to eat dried? Have you tried drying cabbage? It doesn't dry. It wilts. And then I guess if you dry it enough after it wilts, I've never seen it. But I guess at some point it would become crispy, right? Yeah? No? I don't know. But let's read Daniel chapter 1. What happened to them? And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. They were all vegetarians and they got fat. See, this should be a lesson to all you vegans out there. Particularly you fat vegans, which always cracks me up when someone's on a vegan diet and they're fat. But it's the carbs. It's the carbs. You can get all those carbs in that lovely pulse. All those vegetables with all them carbs. You get fairer, which I guess means your skin lightens, right? It does. Is that what that means? Actually, let me look up if they mean fairer or if fair has a different context here. Fairer. Became fairer. Toba means let's get the actual definition here. Used likewise as a good. Both in the masculine and the feminine, the singular word and the plural, good or a good thing, good man or good woman, good goods or good man, good woman, good also as an adverb, beautiful, best, better, bountiful, cheerful, at ease, fair, be in favor, fine, glad, good. So they looked gooder. And fatter. Remember the fatter part. I didn't translate that. That's what the King James says. They got fat. Maybe they were too skinny before eating lamb. See, they were better looking. Carbs are fine. Carbs are fine. Carbs can be fine. I'm not gonna. God created carbs. Doesn't mean that's our ideal. I had cup noodles that had dried cabbage in it. It was sweet and nice. Very nice, very nice. I hate lentils. We had them every Wednesday in the army, at least for dinner. It was pizza. I like lentil soup. Where do you go? You can dry and grind veggies to make veggie stock. Mushroom powder is good in soup. I love making, when I make I make a ramen broth, I usually, if I have them, I will use dried shiitake mushrooms and kombu, which is dried seaweed, And I don't need to give you my recipe, but yeah, I use mushrooms in there. The lesson is if you obey God, he will bless you. They got fat, Larry. That's what the Bible says. Sola Scriptura. I believe carrots. It means you start to look like me without the crown, obviously. Yes. I've seen a few noodles in Claremont. Corpse Grinder says fruit leather. Banana. I love fruit leather. Like just fruit roll-ups, fruit leather, that stuff. Oh, brings me back to my childhood. Lots of drying techniques. You're talking about fruits, dude. That's not vegetables. It didn't say vegetables. It didn't say fruits. It said vegetables. Pulse doesn't, unless there's no. Yeah, there is a word for fruit in Hebrew. So yeah, it's vegetables, not fruit. Although that could. It's entirely possible that's implied that they had fruits and vegetables, which is just more carbs, by the way. Sugars. The only ones I've tried are ramen noodles. Not much nutrition in them, but good for a salty, filling snack. You know what's funny? When I was coughing and my throat was bothering me, I got a craving for ramen noodles, and I had 1 cup of ramen noodles, hot ramen noodles, and it was like a miracle cure. And I don't think it was because the noodles. I'm gonna take that back. It might have been the combination of the chicken, because it is just chicken stock or chicken broth, right? Well, with chemicals and dried vegetables. Chicken stock, which is obviously good for colds. And then I think maybe like the noodles themselves had some sort of like a massaging, when I'm swallowing them, they had some sort of massaging element to them. God, I love cup noodles. Maruchan ramen. I don't eat them generally. That was the first one I've had in a long time.
Interesting.
I once looked at cabbage while eating ribs. Hello, Jeff. Welcome. I make a really, really good cabbage. Never had a complaint. The other night we had, this has nothing to do with the Bible, except for, this is all started from the biblical conversation of don't be a vegetarian, you'll get fat. I made kielbasa. You ever just do this? This is a very simple dish. Kielbasa and cabbage. Just saute the cabbage until it's cooked. Put the kielbasa on there. Actually, I sprinkle some soy sauce in the kielbasa, or in the cabbage while I'm doing it. That makes it really extra. I also added onions to that, so it's like a big plate of cabbage and onions and kielbasa on top. Very simple. Very, very simple. Well. Hello, Johnny boy. Johnny boy, the pipes are calling. Oh, that's Danny. Anyway, it also says their being fat was a good thing. Yeah. I mean, look, you want to have a little fat on you. It's true. You do want to have a little fat on you. That's absolutely 100% true. You don't want to run around with 0% body fat. Even though you might look cool and like a superhero, that's not really ideal. I mean, a lot of like minerals and stuff get stored in your body fat. So if you, I'm not going to forget to pick up JoJo. Thank you. You know what? This is not a health channel, even though I might be the healthiest person on here. I might not. I have no idea. Look, not financial advice, but have you seen the crypto market? Oh my stars. Oh my stars and garters. It is ripping. Micah, I thought you were going with her.
Huh?
I thought you were going with her. No. Oh. I like really giant beans in the oven with tomato sauce and olive oil. Giant beans with tomato sauce and olive oil. You know what? My wife was just figuring out. My wife sometimes has skin issues, and it's like she's always had them, but she was noticing is like red, like peppers and stuff are causing it, and I'm like, you probably have an allergy to nightshades, and she's like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, peppers, tomatoes, and I'm just rambling off. There's nightshades aren't like a huge broad scope of stuff, but like there's some stuff on there you just really like. Paprika. Anyways, tomatoes. That's why I thought of that, because you said tomatoes. Tomatoes are nightshades. Oh my gosh, Mike, I actually crave them every now and then too. How funny. Oh man, when I was a kid, those things were. I just love cup noodles. I know, I love like real and good ramen, but there's something peculiar to cup of noodles that is just like crack. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is, but it's like I love absolutely good, real Mexican food. I also love Taco Bell. You know what I mean? It's like it's like one of these things is not like the other, but you can just love both of them. Giant beans in the oven. A bean so big it can be cooked in an oven. Yeah, I know. Corpse Grinder says it's the warm broth and the high salt killing the bad bacteria in your throat. The warm chicken broth. Chicken broth. I make the best goulash. Goulash. That's not the cold beet. What is the cold beet soup? Borscht. Borscht. My wife loves borscht. I love beets, but super high in oxalates. Oxalate's bad, and they collect in your body, and then they do damage to you. So that's another reason not to eat a lot of vegetables. Well, it depends on the vegetable. Not all vegetables are high in oxalates. What was cabbage doing on your table, Jeff? Yeah, Jeff. I like egg noodles in Heinz Bigs. We're just talking about. I start talking about food, and this is how this ends up. Like 17 minutes into the show, 18 minutes into the show, we're still talking about goulash. However you spell it, goulash or something. Yeah. Yes, I put beef kielbasa and potatoes in with my cabbage. Good for you. A little fat is good for the winters. Yeah, and just for storing, extra minerals in your system, because they store in your fats, and then like as your body is utilizing those nutrients, you can draw them out of your fat for your body to maintain. So yeah, I don't know what the perfect percentage body fat is, but 0 I don't imagine is good. 0 probably bad. All right. 0% body fat will put stress on your joints and also make you more susceptible to injury. There you go. Also, a decent amount of weight, like 250 at 6 foot, is perfect for changing tires. Okay. I use Pepper quite a bit. Based on that comment alone, no one should listen to you about the Bible. I'm just reading what the Bible says. It says they got fat. That's not me. That's what the Bible says. Am I implicating a vegetarian diet is not going to exactly make you Mr. Olympia? Maybe. But I'm not saying that's what the Bible says. I'm just saying it says they got fat. Kirby, don't you say that. Disgusting. There was a restaurant in South Texas called Taco Palenque I would go to. It had awesome tacos. All right, we need to change the subject here, because everyone is just talking about, this is not a food channel, people. How dare you? My wife says women need more body fat than men. Body fat on women is ideal in the right places. You know what I'm saying? You do know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want some totally like my wife can get a six pack in like 2 days if she tries. Drives me kind of absolutely nuts. But you know what? Women don't get fat on their stomachs. That's not where they store it. Men do, generally speaking. That's not on men. That's the first place it goes is your stomach. On women, the first place it goes is your hips. But yeah, you don't want. I don't know. I see these women. I don't want to denigrate women who like spend all their time in the gym for some reason and like friggin' look like racehorses because you can see the veins in their legs. But to me, that's. I'm not going to say it's gross. It's just not attractive, and I don't think it's healthy. I agree with the wife. Read the next comment. Okay. The nurse in my nursing facility, my mama's in, says they like to keep the residents a little overweight because they lose so much if they get a cold. There you go. Everyone's getting ravenous. I know I'm getting hungry too. Mike starts a convo about food and then complains about the convo about food. What do you want from me? I am trying to say. Look, this is all started from the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. The book of Daniel, talking about that vegetarian diet that made those kids fat. Now, maybe the kids were too skinny before the diet, right? And then when they were brought to the king's table, they're like, hey, you guys need to fatten up, and it'll make you. So it made them healthier looking because they were too skinny. That's why they were fair, because they were getting fat. And too skinny to fat, and they're kids. Kids should have a good amount of a little chubby cheeks and stuff. It's cuter. Race horses, yeah. You know how on racehorse you can see like the veins in their legs and stuff, or in like really high. I don't know. I've got this picture in my head. This freaking girl at the gym like flexing her leg, and you could see the sinew in every muscle, and I'm like, too much. Too much. 6 is fine on women. It becomes unattractive when you can see the chest bones under their chest. Oh, like here? Up here you can see their chest. Right off of their septum. You can see the little... We need the next good solid take from Mike to bring us into our next weekend-long debate. Weekend? It's Tuesday. You're already prepping for the weekend-long debate? Holy cow, Caleb. Was there anything left undone on the other one? I mean, what's-his-face wanted to get into science. And then Buddy who's lurking. Well, Buddy, I know you're lurking. I can feel your rabbit ears listening. There are so many fasting days in the Orthodox calendar that Greek cuisine is a vegetarian's paradise. Well, if you're eating vegetables, you're not fasting. Or just fasting from meat? Is that what you mean? The important thing is here that we're all getting along and having a good time. Johnny Bird, I heard Mike's making a beef Wellington on next week's show. I've never done a Wellington. I think my son tried. My son, one of my sons, Elijah, loves cooking. This one loves cooking too, but he doesn't do it enough.
Like they're allergic to switching.
And they all learn how to cook certain things from my mom. My mom taught them like she taught me. But yeah, I think my oldest tried to make a beef Wellington, if I remember correctly. I don't remember how it came out.
Oh, yeah?
Kids and babies should be chubby. Yes. Babies should be chubby. There comes a certain time when there's a 5-year-old kid looking like the Michelin Man. That is not healthy. That's yeah. Okay, usually those dishes have a lot of sauce and olive oil and go together with a lot of bread. So yeah, you can get fat on them. Olive oil, so good. So good for you. And the bread, it's the bread. Malnutrition can swell the belly, looking like the kid is fat, but it's a really bad sign. This is accurate. but it doesn't look like they're fat. It just looks like they're pregnant. It's like their bone. You can see all their bones, and then they look like they're carrying an 8-month-old child. I have a cold right now, but my stepmom has movie, and I can't have COVID because I've had it before. It takes my taste away. It really doesn't know wrong with sinuses. Well, Tanner, I pray you get better. And then write more coherent English. Caleb ain't messing around, prepping for the week. I mean, we could read a chapter out of the Bible. We could read a chapter out of the Bible. The stupid autocorrect. That's crazy talk, but it would be nice. It's been a while. You know what? Let me do a breakdown. Let me do the old perfect breakdown. Not perfect, but you know the breakdowns I did. Let me see if I can go back and find it.
Where did I get that?
Oh my gosh. Search Grok history. John. Translation and deepest meaning. All right. Let's do a translation deepest meaning of Daniel 1. Now do Daniel chapter 1. There. All right.
I think you could switch
Now,
off
while
the
that
word.
loads up, I'll read some more stuff.
Actually,
What
we
is
should
a
say
beef
that.
Wellington, Mike? It is a tenderloin wrapped in, is it phyllo dough? I'm not sure what kind of pastry it is, but wrapped in a flaky pastry. And then you, I don't remember how. I think you just bake it until it is perfect medium rare. I don't know what else there is to it, but I guess it's kind of tricky to make because it's like the signature dish on like Hell's Kitchen and stuff where they're always like, you've got to be able to make a perfect beef Wellington. It's like, what are you? I'm an idiot sandwich. I guess I'll tune in next week and find out. Yeah, Mike, fasting is about meat, basically thing with blood, not getting starved. That's
like we would have won.
Like Orthodox and Catholic fasting, like when Protestants fast. Yes, there is like fasting from something like meat or something, but generally speaking, it's like fasting from everything but water. I never understand why people ask what a newborn baby looks like. It looks like a potato. Does not look like a potato, Tanner. All right, let's see if Grok is done. Oh my gosh, why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? Why? Weird. Okay. All right. This isn't too long. I'm going to read translated with the deepest possible meaning. Let's see if I can zoom this up a little bit. And then I'll share it with you here. Ah, dang it. Why does it do that? I swear my computer went. Oh my gosh. You don't even know what I'm. It's like when I do the scroll to zoom things in and out, it doesn't do it when I want it. It like over. Never mind. It's just very frustrating. Anyone else here? Grok got banned and rebooted because it agreed that America and Israel is committing genocide. It did? Was that the issue? Yeah, it's funny. Grok banned Grok. Or X's AI banned Grok. Or not banned, but what do you call it? Suspended it. So funny. All right. Christopher Walken's impersonating me. When I hear his voice, I hear his monologue from Pulp Fiction. I carried this in my donkey. All right, let's go. Daniel 1, translated with deepest meaning. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. His shadow cast long over the city of God's dwelling. The Lord gave Jehoiakim into his hand, with vessels of the house of God. He carried to the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, treasures of the sacred placed in the pagan shrine. The king, I can barely read that over here. The king spoke to Ashpenaz, master of his eunuchs, to bring youths from Israel's nobles, sons without blemish, skilled in wisdom, rich in knowledge, discerning in understanding, fit to stand in the king's palace, to be taught the script and the tongue of the Chaldeans. I'm going to point out. I don't remember if it's specifically here, but there's times in the Bible where Israel is taken, and kind of like the Ottoman Empire did. Like the Ottoman Empire would, like, if they took over a place, they would take like the poets and the scientists and the engineers, right, and take them over. In these places, they did the same thing way back in the Babylonian days, and then they would they'd kind of leave the peasants, and the peasants would just kind of like dissipate into the. And I think that's kind of how the Samaritans came to be. Like they were like they just kind of got left behind because they weren't the best of the best, so they got left behind. And so the Hebrew population, this is all for me to get to the point that, like, Jews are smart, SMRT, smart. Like in the New York public school system, they did a thing based on race, and as Asians, I mean, big surprise, and Jews were like the smartest subpopulations, and I think this has something to do with it because they bred the smartest people, and they kind of shoved off like the guys who didn't have anything to bring to the table. And they did it more than once, right, in history. So I think this is one of those examples. It's like, hey, bring me all the smart people, the ones that are wise and smart and understanding and fit to stand in the king's palace, to be taught the script and tongue of the Chaldeans. Which is funny, isn't it? Because the script and tongue of the Chaldeans is, well, one of them, there was 3 of them. We just went over this last week. There was 3 different languages they spoke in Chaldea, where Abram is from. Abraham. Operation Paperclip much, right? Right? I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. Right, exactly. Hey, say what you want with breeding for traits, but it works. No, it's true. Am I still live? Why is my computer locked up? Can you guys hear me? Computer. Not responding. Google Chrome not responding. Great. Tell me if you can hear me. I'll just keep reading instead of trying to. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We hear you. All right. I'm just going to keep reading instead of getting sidetracked, which I tend to do. Squirrel. Youths, unmarred, comely in form, adept in all wisdom, keen in knowledge, sharp in insight, with strength to serve in the king's court, molded in the lore and language of Babylon's realm. The king assigned them daily fare, royal food, and wine from his table, to be nurtured 3 years, then to stand before him, their lives reshaped for his service. Among them were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, sons of Judah, bearing the names of their father's faith. The chief eunuch, which, by the way, bearing the names of their father's faith. That's interesting because it's Daniel, God. Hananiah, is the breath of God. Mishael, El again. Azariah, breath of God. Sons of Judah, bearing the names of their father's faith. The chief eunuch gave them new names. Daniel became Belteshazzar. Hananiah, Shadrach. Mishael, Meshach. Azariah, Abednego. New identities to bind them to Babylon's gods. But Daniel resolved in his heart not to defile himself with the king's food or wine. He sought the chief eunuch's leave, guarding his soul from the taint of pagan fare. God granted Daniel favor and compassion before the chief eunuch, his mercy a shield woven through the heart of a foreign court. The chief eunuch said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who set your food and drink. Why should he see you weaker than the youths of your age? My head endangered before his wrath. Daniel spoke to the steward appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Test your servants 10 days. Give us vegetables to eat, water to drink, and our trust placed in the God who sustains. Let our faces be compared with those who eat the king's fare. Judge by what you see and deal with your servants as truth reveals. He heeded their plea, testing them 10 days, his heart swayed by their faith's quiet resolve. After 10 days, their faces shone fairer, their bodies stronger than the youths fed on royal food, God's provision, a radiance outshining Babylon's wealth. All right, Grok, I don't like this. I like the fat. So the steward removed their royal fare, giving vegetables instead, their diet a testament to the Lord's sustaining hand. To these 4 youths, God gave knowledge and skill in all script and wisdom. Daniel, insight into visions and dreams, their minds a gift illuminated by divine light. At the end of the days set by the king to bring them forth, the chief eunuch, that's 3 years, by the way, presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king spoke with him. None matched Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. They stood in his court, their wisdom a beacon in a foreign land. In all matters of wisdom and understanding the king sought, they were 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his realm. Their insight a marvel of God's granting. Daniel remained until the 1st year of King Cyrus, his life a thread woven through empires, upheld by the Lord's eternal purpose. Cool. Thank you, my Lord, for saying I will be unique. Lord, that's not what I meant. Wait, what? Oh, their new names were somehow more complicated than the first ones. Well, they're Babylonian names. They didn't know how nicknames worked back then. Yeah, they were. I mean, from what that says, he was trying to remove the name of God from their names and give them the names. I don't know. Those names probably. I don't know what the Babylonian gods were, but they were. It said the new names were names that honored the Babylonian gods. So. They got smart from eating veggies? No, they were already smart. They didn't have to be taught. They just gained knowledge from fasting. No, they were educated for 3 years. They came in because they were already smart. And I don't think it had anything to do with eating the vegetables, that they just happen to be. They're Jews. They're just smarter. I don't know. Eunuch, but you know, guys, follow your vision. Do any of you have like a vision you've gotten and you believe in it, that you believe God gave you a vision and like it hasn't come to pass, so you like start to doubt in it? I know this is totally tangential. I'm like starting a whole new topic. I went through a difficult. I don't even I've been trying to follow God's vision that I think he gave me, that I believe he gave me. I believed wholeheartedly he gave it to me, and I had so many confirmations that he gave it to me. And this was like 4 years ago. And the confirmations made it seem like the what my vision was going to happen like right there, then and there. But it hasn't. But the confirmations were there. And in the interim, it's like whenever I like don't know what to do, I lean back on that vision. It's like, well, let's do what would forward this vision. And that led to some pretty dire circumstances for me, which have been resolved. But thank God they were resolved. But then, like, as soon as they were resolved, it's like the vision. One of the guys that gave me the confirmation last time around came back to me and he said, "It's go time." And I'm like, it's so weird where all this crazy, like, sort of Damocles level stuff is like over my head, suddenly gets resolved. Literally 2 days later, it's go time. And it's not just that, but I'm, other stuff has opened up and like driving me forward into what feels like the next chapter, or like, there's seasons, right? But it really feels like one chapter closed, another chapter opens. Now I don't know if I'm again, it could be another. How long was it for Joseph? Joseph had his visions. His brothers threw him in a cave or in a well, sold him into slavery, and he had to go through hell for, well, not hell. He had to be in prison. He had to be in the most undesirable of circumstances, but he made the absolute best of his undesirable circumstances. He never lost faith. And then over 20 years later, his vision came to pass. So it's like, if you've ever had a vision from God, that you believe is a vision from God, and that you've had confirmations that it is the vision and what you're supposed to be doing, like with your life, that has to come with patience and faith, because it's like, it could be 4 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. It could not be until like the last years of your life that you're fulfilled in what you were given, right? Hang in there. Like that little cat on the poster. Hang in there, buddy. Just very, very interesting. So I just want to encourage anybody out there who has had, like, you believe in a path that God has given you. You believe that it is truly what you're meant to do. Doesn't mean it's going to happen right now, but continue to work towards it. Don't lose faith. Have hope. Hang in there. But at the same time, you're going to have regular daily stuff you need to deal with. Deal with the regular daily stuff too. Just don't lose sight and move towards it as much as your life allows. I know that's very vague, because I'm not trying to be specific about my own life or about anybody else's. I'm trying to give you a general motivational speech, kind of. My joke gave Mike a vision. God is outside of time. Things seem ever present to him. Truth. So exciting. I know. I'm kind of excited. And even if this is just, if it's another false start, I'm not going to give up. right? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. I learned that when I pray and truly believe that God will do what's best for me, everything always works out well. When I fret and worry, it doesn't turn out well. I had to learn that the hard way. Look, as long as you're above ground, anything that happens to you, to your finances, to your home, is just a hassle. Some hassles are speed bumps. Some hassles are the Grand Canyon. But as long as you're still breathing, it's just a hassle. So it's not really worth like fretting. I know it's hard to not worry about things, especially like I said, sword of Damocles hanging over your head. But ultimately, it's all things work for good to those who love God and are the called according to his purposes. All things. So you can lose everything. It's all good, baby. It's all good. It's all just stuff. As long as you and the people you love are healthy. Or even not even healthy, just alive. You don't have to be healthy. That's a hassle too. Just being unhealthy is just a hassle. Until it's not. And then what's worse that can happen? Resurrection. Boom. Winner. Yeah, there's no, what does God, the word says, like, not to worry can't change one hair from white to black. The carnivore diet can. I'll just state that as a fact. I have had black hair. I mean, this is has nothing to do with worry, but I have had hairs go from white to black, switching to the carnivore diet. But that's not what God intended that statement to say. It means not to worry, because worrying isn't going to change a dang thing. Do what you can do and just have faith that it will work out for the best for those who are the called according to his purposes. Right? Even if what's best for you is losing everything. Right? Maybe God doesn't intend you to be in a mansion. Maybe God intends for you to be in an apartment where you have more community because you've got people right next door who you can be friends with, fellowship with, witness to, right? Instead of being like, oh, I'm rich and I'm in a mansion and I'm all by myself and I never talk to anybody because my neighbors my next door neighbor is 10 minutes away or whatever, right? Maybe, our circumstance doesn't have to abide the will of the culture or what the media says is success. Our circumstance should fit what God wills, right? And what God wills and what the world wills, generally not the same thing. That's why this whole prosperity gospel freaking drives me nuts. God wants y'all to be rich, have your own jet plane and mansion and blah, 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 and Rolls Royces and Rolexes. And not that it's, wrong to have a Rolex, but, all that kind of stuff. It's not, no, dude. God put Paul on a ship that was sinking. Right? Sinking ship. And then they had the lifeboat, and Paul's like, don't get in that lifeboat. Or God's like, don't get in that lifeboat. You get in that lifeboat, everybody's going down. Everybody's dying. Yeehaw. Yes, I'm doing my from what I understand so far, life Christian is a journey. It is. And every journey has an end. Our end is a reboot, though. We get rebooted not just to factory settings, but to the perfect factory settings. We can't weigh everyone's life, Chris. We're only giving our own. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Chris Schwartzel? Schwartzel? Chris Schwartzel says, what about the thousands of people who have claimed to have visions from God and nothing ever happened? I don't know what. How do you know nothing ever happened? Who are these people? I have not researched this at all, Chris. What are you talking about? Can you give me some examples? Exactly, Mike. It's just a hassle. There's always somebody worse off than you are. Always. I count my blessings regularly. Cheer up. I have overcome the world. Amen. I think hardships find most of us either way, but succumbing to worrying does make it worse. True. I have two aunts in their 90s who still have most of their brown hair. That always amazes me. Neither of them ever dyed their hair. Maybe that's part of it. My mom, this isn't me. This, like, you can see I have a couple of gray hairs here and a little patch right here. My mom is 85. And she just has like see how this looks here on me? She just has that like up here. It's just sprinkles of gray. It's like this is genetics, man. My mom gave me a great head of hair. Which is not like all Japanese people, because my mom's like best friend, her hair is completely white. She's like 2 years older than my mom. Her hair is just like one of those kung fu guys in the movies, just all white. So it's all, you know. Maybe you will be happier in a simple home and traveling more, or visiting neighbors, or praying and working on your internal state and finding peace. True. So God caused the Titanic disaster. Where did you get that? I'm not saying God causes everything. I'm not a Calvinist. I don't blame God for every bad thing. Or every good thing, right? It's not. I don't think he micromanages like that, right? He redeems evil that happens. He redeems bad things that happen. He does allow things, but allowing something and causing something are not the same thing. I know the Calvinists. I don't even understand the Calvinist position 100%. I know it's been explained to me ad nauseum. I still don't quite wrap my head around it, so maybe I'm too stupid to be a Calvinist. You get the genocide denial reboot. I guess men's arrogance caused it, saying the ship is unsinkable. Well, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on. I can't remember what the conspiracy theory is about the Titanic. Someone here, Tina probably does. Do you remember the conspiracy theory about the Titanic and how like either certain people or certain information was on the Titanic and it needed to be disappeared? You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that one? There's a conspiracy theory about everything. It was sunk on purpose to create the Fed. Was that the conspiracy theory? See, I knew somebody would know it. I knew. Chris, what did you do during World War II? The iceberg did, and a captain not doing his job. I don't know. I always loved salt and pepper colored hair. I think it's so pretty. I'd rather just have all my hair be brown, but I'm telling you, point blank, I don't know what probably copper. I probably wasn't getting enough copper in my old diet, but when I went carnivore, I had over and over again, I would see hairs going from white to gray, white to brown, not black, but well, maybe sometimes black. And you can see it because it's a growth pattern, right? You can see going from brown to white, and you can see it going from white to brown. And you're like, wow, that's about as I've been a vegetarian, or I've been a carnivore for a year. That's about a year's worth of growth on my hair. It's like very strange. Well, not very. My niece once asked why I had silver hair on the sides. I told her it was chrome and all the classics have it. Why didn't you just tell her you were Mr. Fantastic? Bro, come on. Come on. One is that it's a different boat sank for insurance money. Oh, yeah. Wasn't there a sister boat that was like identical to the... Was that the Lusitania or something like that? Was the Lusitania identical to the... I can't remember. I could be completely wrong. Conspiracy theorists suggest that Morgan arranged to have the men board the ship and then sunk it to eliminate them. Morgan canceled JP his ticket for the Titanic's maiden voyage due to a reported illness. While Guggenheim had not purchased a ticket before Morgan's cancellation. Tina T, don't forget they stole the idea from a book. Oh, did they? This theory posits J.P. Morgan, the powerful financier who owned the International Mercantile Marine Company, which in turn owned White Star Line, orchestrated the sinking to eliminate his rivals, who were supposedly against the creation of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. There it is! There it all is! It's the Fed. The Lusitania. Thank you. Insurance fraud? That would be a reason to hype it up to be unsinkable. Muddy Sarlacc says, LOL Reconstruction Zone. Justin must be making waves to get these types of topics. That's just a little bait. Thank you for biting it. I just put that on my thing for guys like you to come in and argue with me. And why is it always like right at the end that the Justin people come in? It's 57 minutes in. I do an hour show, so it's like every time. It's like the last 5 minutes. The deconstruction zone people come in. But yeah, come on in. I do this every day. 5 days a week usually. So if you want to come in and like hit me with some arguments, happy to. We spent this whole time just farting around talking about diets and stuff. Hey, I'm back. Do you remember we was talking about the Canaanites and Israelites? Why the Israelites stole the name of their gods Yahweh and El. Yeah, okay. The Canaanite is actually, first of all, we had this whole conversation, right? So repeating it again. I'm late again. That's why I came in. Oh man. Yeah, try to get here. I try to start at noon. Usually I'm a little bit late. Today I was like 40 minutes late. So yeah, just subscribe and or you know what? You can join the Discord. At least you'll get the Discord. First of all, you can come in and argue on the Discord. And second of all, you can get alerts. We always do the at everyone when I put up the cross exam because yeah, the channel might be shadow banned. I'm not even entirely sure. So, and the Bible was read today. That's true. That is true. To be frank, we did start the combo from the Bible. So that's true. Time tomorrow. I'll try to start at noon tomorrow. Yeah, because I got to get my son early tomorrow. So I will do my best to do 2 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Happy to have anybody, agnostic, atheist, come in here and question me, grill me, bring up whatever topics you want. I don't know everything. I don't claim to be the world's greatest apologist. I have just been doing this for 30 years in different venues. So, da, 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 da. Oh, man, we only have 30 seconds left anyways. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Correct. And yeah, what's your Mighty Star like? You're invited too. Come on in. Come on in. We won't be mean. We're full of love and arguments. All right. That's it for me today. Thanks everybody for being here. God bless you all. Join the Discord. Amy just posted that up in the chat. And you'll get your alerts. Plus, if you want to have arguments, we had an argument going back and forth all day Sunday on what was it? On Daniel, on the book of Daniel, and the so-called contradictions, which weren't. But I appreciated Objective Ethics for coming in and making the arguments. He still thinks he won, and in his subjective worldview, maybe he did, but he didn't. God bless, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.